Hey everyone, I'm back for another edition of the Daily Awakening Your Unique Self, where I just give you a little glimpse, a little nugget from our flagship program from the Unique Self Institute called the Unique Self Emergence Process, which is launching this October, and we're accepting applications to join this cohort. So today I want to ask the question of how does awakening as your unique self actually impact your work and the work you do with people in organizations and in the world. And so I'm going to take a few different ways to look at this. Imagine, and how do you work with, for example, how do you work on teams? How do you work in terms of goal setting? How do you do interpersonal conflict at work? So if you think about it, right, when we are operating stuck in the ego because we don't realize that we are more than the ego, we walk around every day in our work really attached to our role. So we may be tied to a particular role, and we might say things like, that's above my pay grade, or that's not mine to do, right? Or we might resist efforts to take initiatives at work, right? And so when we're and then on the other hand, if we're kind of living stuck in true self, in terms of if we're actually stuck in this deep emptiness, or the deep ever-present witness, and are kind of stuck there, we actually have no interest in being at work. We have no interest in participating. Everything is perfect and everything is already done, and so there's nothing to do. But if we're living as our unique selves, we actually are able to activate a both-and mindset. So instead of saying it's either this or that, an either-or mindset, we actually develop the capacity and the desire to actually say yes to many different things and weave them together in a symphony. We also can, we're much more willing and able to suspend our egoic need for immediate recognition and titles, and actually instead work towards whatever needs to be done in the moment. So when we're living at work as our unique self, we're able to respond to what is needed in the moment, and not be waiting for someone to tell us to do it, and not be stuck to old patterns. We actually are new every day. We're actually participating in something larger, in an evolutionary process, right? Specifically in the Unique Self-Emergence process, we go through a whole module on what we call lines and circles. Now, lines and circles you can think of as masculine and feminine qualities in us, but it's not just that. But for the sake of this video, I'll focus on that. So let's say, for example, we have a tendency to be very goal-oriented, very directional, very productive and forward-focused, which are all masculine or line qualities. Through the Unique Self-Emergence process, we recognize when we are neglecting or putting some qualities in shadow, or overdoing other qualities. So we might be overdoing line qualities and overachieving and actually over-fixating on forward motion on something that's actually not ours to do. Sorry for the noise here. And what happens? That leads to burnout. That leads to, kind of steamrolling over people. That leads to actually various versions of hurting people in the market or in the workplace. And also it could mean that we're just going in the wrong direction, right? So through the Unique Self-Emergence process, we help you come to assess your line and circle qualities. In this case, a circle quality might be actually stillness, right? Actually being receptive to other people's initiatives, right? It might be, instead of being rigidly attached to a direction, we might flow and respond to what needs to happen in the moment. Right? So we actually assess, we actually get the tools to assess in my life, in my work, am I not balanced but integrated in my line and circle qualities? And what are the line and circle qualities that I, enhance, emphasize, shed light on, illuminate, right? And that way we actually engage in what we call a heros gamos, a divine marriage between these line and circle qualities, masculine and feminine. So in short, men are able to embrace their feminine side without losing their masculine, and women are embrace their masculine side without losing their... I think I might just have lost that. Okay, there it is. So when we're able to embrace our line and circle qualities, our masculine and feminine, we can embrace that in others and work seamlessly and more in symphony and synergy with those that we're working with, instead of kind of forcing and pushing and being rigid or having persistent chronic failures and issues come up. Now, a second way that we can think about work is if you're working with clients. Let's say you're working as a coach or a therapist or a healer or a counselor of some sort. When you're awakening as your unique self and you're living from unique self, you're much more able to be present to what your client is saying and needing. Right? So we actually have less of an agenda, and instead we have an intention. Right? And we actually can discern the balance of line and circle qualities in conversation with our clients. Right? And ultimately what ends up happening is oftentimes when we're working with clients, we know we're living and working as a unique self because we feel a flow state. We realize that it's not just you and me, client and practitioner, but it's also client, practitioner, and the evolutionary force that is moving everything. So there's a third participant in the process. So those are just a few spontaneous comments about the unique self-emergence process and how it can really awaken and bring a lot of life and eros and zest to the workplace. Zest is probably not the right word, but aliveness. Let's just say aliveness. Right? So if any of this is intriguing to you and you're looking to continue to grow in your world and your work, working with clients or working in organizations, maybe it's time to try out the unique self-emergence process. Reach out to me, email info@uniqueselfinstitute.com, and set up a discovery and discernment call so we can see if this is right for you. All right, thank you, and have a wonderful rest of your day.